Yo, what's happening, y'all? It's your boy, Bill Mahari here, representing Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. Now, I typically don't do a lot of boxing here on this on my channel because boxing's on some BS and there's a lot of drama and a lot of, just speculative, nonsense that goes down the pike. But this weekend showed me once again why boxing's always going to be on that BS no matter what. And what I'm talking about is the backstage altercation between Nahir Albright and Keyshawn Davis. Now, before I get into my thoughts on the altercation, let's rewind back to Friday. So, Keyshawn Davis was scheduled to fight Edwin De Los Santos in his hometown of Norfolk, Virginia, right? They were supposed to compete against one another for the WBO title. So, what happened is that Keyshawn Davis came in 4 pounds overweight, and it just looked like he didn't put no attempt to try to lose the weight. He pretty much, did absolutely nothing. And I've seen fighters work their butts out to try to lose those remaining pounds to the point of just pure exhaustion or even near-death experiences. But the thing is, Keyshawn never did any of those things. He just basically content with the fact that he was 4 pounds overweight and he was willing to take the fine and go on with the fight. Well, Edwin De Los Santos and his team thought correctly. They all saw what happened between the Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney situation of a year ago. So what happened was that Edwin De Los Santos played it correctly. They basically pulled out the fight because they knew for a fact they weren't going to fight against a guy that was 4 pounds overweight. It made no sense. So literally after that, he got stripped of his belt on the scales, right? And his fight was canceled. So now, basically, his own brothers had to pretty much go in there to save the card, and Abdullah Mason. And also, shout out to Abdullah Mason. He put on a masterclass performance, and he's going to be a real monster for years to come. But literally, I was looking at some of the comments right down there, and there was a lot of people that were basically defending Keyshawn. Like, what the heck is wrong with y'all? Do y'all understand how hard it is to try to lose that kind of weight? But the thing is, he never put no effort to do it. He basically never tried to lose the weight at all. And that's where the criticism comes into play. Then he plays off arrogantly, basically saying like, man, I don't give a damn, forget everyone else. When everybody who came in from Norfolk, Virginia to see the fight, a lot of them were asking for their refunds. I saw some footage of people literally going to his face and say, hey, where's my refund, MFer? Like, people were upset because they wanted to see Keyshawn Davis fight. I know Allen Iverson was going to be over there. I know Michael Vick was there. There were a lot of high-profile people that were anxiously waiting to see Keyshawn Davis fight, and the guys basically screwed his opportunity and made Top Rank look like a fool. It made ESPN look like a fool. He made everybody that supported him look like damn fools. Then here's where it really gets messy. So Kelvin Davis, who is the brother of Keyshawn, fights against Nahir Albright. And Nahir Albright basically whoops the crap out of him and beats him by unanimous decision. This is where things really get ugly. So, Keon, who won his fight during that same card, right, literally confronts Nahir Albright in the locker room. Then Keyshawn comes into the fray and basically blows up the entire situation. He basically attacks Nahir Albright. And according to the reports that I read, basically Keyshawn went in there, acted a damn fool, basically headbutted him and tried to put hands on him before security and everyone else came in. I was looking at the ESPN Top Rank footage and looking like the fact that Keyshawn was out there acting a damn fool, and then he basically picks up his infant child and puts the child in danger. Now, this opens up a huge can of worms here. Why? Because Keyshawn put his child and his family in danger. Like, what's in your mind to think that you could basically go in there and put your entire family, let alone an infant child, in danger? The stupidity of this guy is just unbelievable. He really thinks that he's above everybody, but he's not. The guy is just stupid. Literally, he's stupid. And if I'm Nahir Albright, I'm pressing criminal charges on that motherfucker. Fuck him. Because he basically decided to put me in danger. Then Keyshawn acts as stupidly and puts his child in danger. If I'm the mother, I would not even want Keyshawn around my kid for a long time after that, because that's basically child endangerment. He better hope that Child Protective Services didn't see the footage and basically did not even want to touch this case. But to be honest with you, they're going to see this. I promise you. They're going to see this, and there's going to be some huge repercussions for this, for the stupidity that he basically showed. But that's not the huge problem. The problem that I have with this is that there were a lot of people that I saw on X that basically tried to justify or try to cape for this dude. And I saw Terrence Crawford and Bomac pretty much apologize on the behalf of Keyshawn, and there's also Keyshawn's representatives tried to apologize on their behalf. First of all, they don't have nothing to apologize for. They had absolutely nothing to do with it. And I know Terrence Crawford has good relations with Keyshawn Davis because they're boys. They're both on the same stable with Bomac. But Keyshawn is a grown man. He has to be the one to do the apologizing, not Bud. Bud is not his father, even though that's the homie. That's the big homie for him. But that's not he's not responsible for this. Terrence Crawford should have nothing to do with this at all, because he has nothing to apologize for, because he had nothing to do with it. This is not on Bud. This is on Keyshawn. Keyshawn's 26 years old. He's a grown man. He's to be the one that's to be taking responsibility for this. But my point is, here's a larger problem with this whole situation. This goes an example about why people need father figures and they need a man influence in their lives to try to help these kids out. When I saw Keyshawn Davis, blasting out all over social media saying that we don't need no fathers. We do everything ourselves, and the father can always get it too. Like, it felt like Keyshawn was crying internally by his words, because he was begging, he was crying for a father in his life, because he never had one. And when he sees people like Devin Haney or even the Vargas family, even though I don't like them necessarily at all, but the point is, when he sees a lot of these father figures in boxing taking care of their kids, providing them with the best services available to them, Keyshawn looks at that and he's basically jealous and basically envious of the fact that he never had one in his damn life, and he's crying for one. That's what I internalize it as. And I don't feel bad for him necessarily about the incident at all, and I damn sure don't care about what the kind of punishment he received. He should have a year suspension. He should have criminal charges off the pike. But what I do feel bad about here is that the issue here is that when I look at the situation, it serves to show you that single parent households can work at times, but Keyshawn's not one of them. He should have had a father in his life to basically show him the ropes. And basically what I see from this is that Keyshawn never had no man guidance in his life. No man guidance in his life. And it shows through his actions, not just his words either. So it was just disgraceful, it was classless, it was distasteful, and you put a lot of people in danger, and more importantly, you basically destroyed possibilities of making generational wealth now, because now Top Rank is going to have to work to get their investment back, because the plan was to have him fight in his hometown with a lot of these high-profile celebrities in attendance to watch Keyshawn Davis fight, and you basically screwed that up. You showed that you really much don't have no professionalism. You don't really care. And that's where I really draw the line with that. It's one thing to miss weight. If you just miss weight by 1.5 pounds or something like that, and you tried hard to make weight, I can understand that. But by 4 or 5 pounds, no, bro. There's no excuse for that. There's absolutely no excuse for that. And you don't deserve any other opportunities after that. Not after this. You're going to have to really work your butt off to really make up to the fans that really wanted to support you. And the fact that you didn't apologize for it yourself, and you had your own representatives, and even Bomac and Bud apologizing on your behalf, shows to you how much of lack of character that Keyshawn Davis has. So, and by the way, if anybody tries to sit around here to try to defend Keyshawn's behavior in my channel, you're going to be blocked on sight. I am not interested in going in a back and forth, because this is just blatant stupidity all across the board by Keyshawn. There's no reason for him to act the way he did. So that's all I got to say about that. But tell me what you think in the comment section below, man. Listen, Keyshawn, he better hope that the punishment is not steep, because if it is, it's going to be really, real rough. With that, I'm out. Peace.